Hello, I'm Vicki Butler-Henderson and welcome to the Historics Auctioneers podcast. In this particular episode, we shine the spotlight on American muscle cars and pick our favourites for under £30,000. And then we finish things with a very British quiz. You're welcome.
Buying or selling a classic car? Head to historics.co.uk or click below for a free valuation.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Historics Auctioneers podcast. We have Mathew Priddy, auction expert here.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. Or good morning, wherever you're listening to us from. And YouTuber Tom Exton.
Hello, everyone.
Konnichiwa.
Hi.
How are you? Tom, what have you got to share with us?
Well, as always, make sure you're following across all social media platforms. That includes Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. That's following, subscribing. Make sure you're in the mix so you do not miss anything. And actually new this time round, we've got Charles and Dean on board. So if you go on the Historics website, it's a new website, and there's a finance feature on there. So it's a company that I actually know really well. They funded loads of my cars in the past, but it means that you might not necessarily even need to cash buy the car. You can actually fund it if, however that suits you. So really easy feature and worth checking out. Matthew.
Exactly. Obviously, we're sat here at the beautiful Windsor View Lakes ahead of the July auction, but when this goes out, we'll be firmly into our consignment period for our Ascot auction in September. So please do get in contact if you wish to have your car valued. Have a quick look online at the auction cars already consigned. And if you have any questions, obviously, put it in the notes below or obviously give us a call.
Perfect. Well done, boys. Good
Thanks.
start. Well done. So in this podcast, we are going to be talking about American muscle cars. We have a British quiz and, of course, the Olympics as well. So we will weave cars into the Olympics.
Lovely stuff. Maybe some planes.
And lots of planes. We are on the Heathrow flight path, so do excuse that. Catch-up time. What have you been up to, Tom?
Formula One, most recently. Silverstone. Were you there?
I was at the British Grand Prix, yes.
Yes, British Grand Prix, that's the correct vernacular. So I was doing that.
Best Grand Prix for a long time. They should make them rain
Really
all
good.
the time.
Really good.
That's all you need. Just throw water on the track and it's much more entertaining.
It was absolutely wonderful. I was there for the 3 days. I was working, but I also got to watch it. Working.
I've seen you working.
Yeah, thanks. And it was really interesting because I was in a grandstand and all of a sudden the cold front came towards us. People started putting on a jumper and a jacket and you're like, rain is coming. It is close.
Yeah, it was a really good race. But actually, ironically, when you do go to them, like you find yourself sort of gravitating towards a screen inside. So you kind of the cars come past, then you go back in and out. But yeah, it was amazing. So I was there all 3 days as well. Got my fill. No Wimbledon this year, and then obviously Goodwood has just been Goodwood Festival Speed. I think I saw you from a distance, hurrying around, being a busy bee.
But you didn't clearly come and approach me and say hi because I didn't
you were
see
mobbed.
you.
You were mobbed. You had your pointy stick out, just fending them all off.
Was she doing that thing where she was walking between stage to stage going A, B, C, as if she's talking to someone so no one interrupts her?
I think you might have been doing that, actually.
If you see Vicky
That's
doing
a good
that,
idea.
it's just a lie. Just go and say hello anyways.
Do come and always say hello. Yes, I was following Karun Chandok into sort of the drivers bit because I was doing some driving at Goodwood Festival of Speed, which was lovely, and he just got equally mobbed as well. And then as he escaped, I then mobbed him and said, "Hi, Karun."
Don't give him any peace. That's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's wild. Did you go?
Yeah, I went. I took the kids there on Saturday, which was interesting because I think I saw the grand total of about 25 minutes of things on the track. The rest of the time, obviously, entertaining the kids through all the multitude of other things to do. But no, it's always good fun. I think it's the noise. What I would say about Goodwood, and I appreciate obviously lots of electric stuff and all the new things, it's all about the noise. It is. I mean, we took with their little ear defenders and every time the Formula One cars or a big V8 screamed up the hill, that was all the entertainment. But like you said, I found myself watching it a lot of the time on screens.
Yep. They do such a good job of it now. You can't help but watch that. If you want all the angles, look at the screen. I think the best bet is to try and get yourself next to the track, get a good view of the track and a good view of the screen. You want both. You want your cake and eating it in those events. I would say with all the EVs and like the kind of the silent stuff that's going on, it might not be for everyone, but I do think it keeps the lights on. It keeps the whole festival going. It keeps everyone funded. It keeps the cash coming through it, and actually, it probably subsidises some of the silly, smelly, non-financially viable nonsense that we all enjoy enjoy. So I think there is a
nice
side
trade-off.
to it.
At the moment, it's probably about
Potentially.
right, isn't it? It's half and half. I think as long as it doesn't go too far one way, it's...
No one will go then, will they?
No, because
But there was a monster shunt with an electric car, the Lotus. It was about
Off the
10
line.
cars in front of me.
Yeah.
So I was waiting in a Porsche 911
he
ST
only
to
got
go
about
up.
10 metres.
He went about 10 metres and then just something must have happened within the car.
Well, Lotus are throwing the driver under the bus, aren't they? That Harry Metcalf, who's commentating, he instantly threw Lotus under the bus. He said, it looks like computer error. Because it did just go 90 degrees. I mean, I don't know much about these sorts of driving things, but is that doable? I mean, you can't stuff that up, surely.
But also, if you look, that no steering input had been put on. So I don't know what had gone on there. But do have a look on YouTube because it is quite a phenomenal shunt.
Hell of a lot of talk coming out. I mean, if one motor, is it 4 motors, one on each wheel, so if one motor doesn't work correctly, maybe?
Snatch and whatever. Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
a right old mess.
But Lotus have had a shocker. All their comments, it's just all about that. They post about anything else, but it's just people are just talking about that car hitting the wall.
But at least they're being talked about.
Yeah, I'm not a PR expert. I don't know about that.
Don't know how to manage that.
Yeah.
I had a lovely day at Goodwood Festival Week. Also, I was very privileged to reveal to the world in the flesh for the first time the new BMW M5, which has got a bit of hybrid
That's a big gig. As we call them. That is a big gig.
So that
it's
was
amazing.
very special.
Did
There was
you also go up up the hill in the hybrid Porsche?
No, it was just the ST,
the
ST
ST.
Porsche, which is sort of a lightweight GT3.
Yep.
GT3R.
More my kind of thing. How did you find it?
So much fun.
Was it really good?
Manual gearbox.
Better or worse than you thought it would be?
Better. Yeah, better. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I obviously just did it on a 1 mile hill climb, so
of course.
I'd like more, which is what I'm going to get. Because what I want, I get.
Perfect. So that's the way to do it. Teach me how to do that.
Oh dear. Right then, on to Mustangs.
Yeah, muscle car. So the cover for the July auction, which is really cool, was a Mustang. But you've got on there, look.
Look, shall I show it in my best?
Really cool. That was done at 4 a.m. in the morning. So a little bit of sort of inside here. To get shoots like that, you don't, it's either pay lots of money to shut everything down or get up at 4 a.m., drive into that Burlington Arcade.
That's Bond Street.
Yep. Drive in there, take some photos, and you get a great looking cover.
Wow.
So for that reason, we sort of thought, okay, what about these American classics? Because obviously we sell 3, 4, maybe a few more each auction. They're varying difference. We have the big sort of Chevrolet Apache sort of trucks. We've always got a muscle car. There's always a Mustang, naturally, and obviously this one being the Bullet Mustang behind us. But they're wonderfully iconic, and in the UK, they're far more affordable. A special American muscle car is far more affordable here than it would be in America. They just don't look over the water. So it is interesting to think of how many you can really pick up really good, strong muscle cars that are massively iconic for £30,000, which in a UK spec car, an E-Type, that's double that money.
So can you tell us a bit about the car that's behind us? It is going for auction in this one.
So this one here is a full sort of Bullet recreation. So it's a Ford Mustang, obviously with a big thumping V8, manual gearbox, and it is beautifully, actually it's not a manual gearbox, it's an automatic gearbox, apologies, but it's beautifully styled, finished exactly in the iconic Bullet look, which I prefer over the, Eleanor look, because there's the two sort of iconic recreations they do. And then sat next to it is this beautiful Plymouth, which is, again, just a shade under £30,000. And it's beautifully put together and restored. And you can't, they're always worth more than the sum of their parts, or less than the sum of their parts, really. And they're great sounding, thumping great big V8s, good fun. Don't go round corners, but who cares?
No. That's the thing, isn't it? If you rock down the high street in that Plymouth, for example, that is eye-catching in so many ways.
Oh, and the great thing is all these American cars, you can always fit at least 4 of your mates in them because they are huge. Just don't try and put them in a multi-storey car park, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's for sure. What are your experiences with muscle cars, Tom?
I have literally no experience whatsoever. I don't think I've ever even driven an American muscle car. I'm all ears. I'm sponging it all up right now. It's that and JDM are two areas that I haven't yet got lost in and kind of had financial disasters in yet. But I'm going to get there.
Share JDM with us.
Your Jap stuff, so your sort of Skylines and all that kind of...
Your Jap stuff, I like that, that's technical.
JDM stands for...
Japanese domestic market. Is that right? That sounds right.
It sounds good.
I
don't actually know.
Is that right?
Or Jap stuff.
Yeah.
You've got some not
Japanese stuff.
Yeah, on the cusp of being cancelled here. Is that right?
Do you know what? The one thing I would say about the American market is I think they're actually making quite good modern they've sort of rebrought the brands forward.
The new Bronco's amazing.
The Hellcats and things, and they are, and they're doing almost like that Mini thing where they're still making them look like the old cars, and they're really evocative for the American market. But it's a shame they obviously don't really make them in right-hand drive for us, because some of them are really quite cool. Whereas they had a real dip in quality of muscle cars through sort of the 90s. There were a few, but
I think your usual like rental Mustang that you get when you go over to sort of LA or Vegas or whatever it is, and they give you one of those convertible Mustangs.
Well,
it's not really a Mustang, is it?
I've got a great story about rental. So years ago, back in the 60s, Hertz did a rental car of I think it was the GT350. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've sold one. They actually were making this sort of what would now be like a supercar on the rental policy. So you can go and fly into an airport and you say, "I'll have the Mustang, please, the Hertz Mustang GT350. I can't remember what it was now." And then there's only a few numbers of them, because I'd imagine most of them got absolutely annihilated. And then we sold one here at Historics. It must have been 6-7 years ago, and they're really iconic.
Have they got like Hertz colour scheme?
Well, also it's black with a yellow stripe over it.
Brilliant.
There's some great stories about how those American cars. I mean, Mustang is everyone's favourite, isn't it? But you must have some. What's your favourite sort of shape of a classic muscle car?
I quite like a modern Mustang.
Do you?
If I may be so bold, yeah.
You're in one today, aren't you?
Oh, I am. Oh, well, do you know what? Yeah, so the electric
Sort of.
Mustang.
Yeah.
The Mustang Mach-E, which I know people complain about, but it is the only way I think you can future-proof the name Mustang by sticking it on electric cars.
I want to see how many comments we get about your electric Mustang while we're talking about Mustang.
I know.
Mustang.
However, I need to tell you about the Mustang petrol car that I have been driving. So it's for the latest series of fifth gear. It's called the Dark Horse, the Mustang Dark Horse, and it's proper petrol, no hybrid, no vegan leather. It's V8 manual.
And this is like one of those sort of almost
so
Shelby-esque looking kind of. They go out a bit like the Hellcats, a bit like the GT. They make them specifically for those that want 1,000 brake horsepower and chew tyres like they were nothing.
It's more track focused, but
Really?
it's properly a road car, but it's sort of their most track focused one. And it of course comes, drag mode, drift mode, track mode, all of that. And it's about £65,000, so it doesn't quite come into our £30,000 price bracket this year.
Give it 18 months.
I was going to say less than that.
But there is something super interesting about the Dark Horse. What is the badge for normal Mustangs?
Well, it's a Mustang horse.
Yeah, galloping from the side, yeah? Well, the Dark Horse, the head of the Mustang is its badge. Yeah. It's actually quite menacing.
I thought you were going to say they've painted it black.
It is black too.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, but it's just the horse's head.
Is that the first time they've ever done that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, as far as I'm aware, I'm sure.
So, and it's all naturally aspirated petrol?
All naturally aspirated.
And dare I ask, because I'm going to collar you with some bits. Go on, stats. Any stats?
0 to 60, 4.4 seconds.
Okay, it's about as quick as you can get with a naturally aspirated.
Yeah, exactly. And 5 litre V8.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Does it sound good? Have they restricted it and made it all?
No, it's all lovely. About 500 horsepower. So it sounds good, looks good, and it makes you feel like you're in a big car still.
A bit like the old ones, yeah.
But it's also got a nice modern element to it with sort of bits of digital stuff. So it's a good combination of I'm still in a muscle car. And do you know what? Hallelujah that companies are still throwing out brand new cars that are like this.
Yeah, you want that heartback to have big engines like build Plymouth Roadrunners, Chevrolet Corvettes, all those. They were just big thumping engines and just power, Jeremy Clarkson-esque, isn't it? Just put more power in it.
It reminds me in a way, though, of TVR, sort of our kind of British interpretation of it. For any TVR, I always say it is just like having a V8 engine and they've strapped a seat to it and then they've decorated it with some sort of bodywork.
They barely strap the seat to it. I think they normally just put a deck chair on top of the V8 and hope it keeps, it'll be all right.
Bit of super glue in there.
And then the deck chair lasts longer. So under £30,000, so we got sort of, I say, like things like Plymouth Roadrunners. It depends on the condition. I'll tell you what it will say about American cars is there is a huge following for their sort of version of Concourse, which is to an nth degree. It's a piece of art sort of restoration. So every screw has to be turned in the same particular way. So there is a varying degree in values. I mean, you can pick up a nice Mustang for under £20,000, and it's nice. It's usually sort of restored, probably from the States, or it's been restored here. But it's not what I'd call, what do they call it? No, it's sort of 100-point inspections. But equally, if you've got them that are absolutely out of the box, they can really run away with themselves. I mean, they're running 60, 70,000 pounds. That probably still isn't what it's cost to restore it, in fairness.
Yeah.
But the nicest ones I've seen have been the early Corvettes with the double windscreens, rear screens. They're beautiful. But again, you open up the bonnets and they're like pieces of art. You think, will they ever run? Because they're too nice. You just trailer them in, show them off, put them back on the trailer. The only people that I've known to do that in sort of great shakes in the UK with our market is Ford. The Ford sort of people, they chrome the life out of their engines and then put mirrors underneath them. Similar kind of attention to detail.
Yeah. But I think one of the appeals as well for all muscle cars is that they're quite simple to work on.
Yes. And you get a small network of people, but everyone kind of knows each other. So you go to the same events, so you know it's kind of quite community focused. Whereas obviously a lot of our cars get huge amounts of buyers, but if you're into the American cars, you kind of tend to be at the same events.
Yeah.
Which is lovely, I suppose. It's part of owning a classic car.
Yeah. I can see you in an American muscle car, Tom.
What would you put me in?
Wow. What would I put him in?
Oh, it's for Tom. It would have to be loud.
Yeah,
Here come the
the bullet
insults.
car.
Come on.
I mean, you could have that Plymouth Road one with a great big, massive rear wing.
But you would probably need a supercharger snout popping out the front.
And then the big rear wing on. I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, one of those things that pops out so you can't see where you're going.
Yeah. And so we can't see you.
Perfect. Yeah. Everyone wins.
Your pick of the muscle cars for you, for Mr. Priddy on his driveway?
I'm trying not to pick Mustangs because I think that's the iconic one. I actually love a Bullet replica or a GT350, but the early Corvettes, I think, might get it. Although I actually quite liked him into the 90s. I was sort of had a soft spot all the way through. So I think probably if I punt for Corvettes, I think they're pushing the numbers, though. I wouldn't probably be able to get a really nice one for £30,000. But again, get one and tinker. They're not hard to tinker with.
Yeah.
And there's no shortage of mistakes. So parts can just come across and off you go. How about you?
I'll stick with the dark horse for now.
Oh, you gone modern dark horse?
I've gone modern. Is that as loud?
I quite liked the Hellcat a couple of years back.
Yeah.
That was again crazy aggressive. But that's exactly what I think of American.
Yeah.
V8.
It's actually quite a clever car. I was quite surprised that I think they did like a CRT or something like Hellcat, like their top one. I mean, it wasn't cheap. 150 odd grand or something, but they've got the tech in it was unbelievable. The like all the different modes and everything. I couldn't believe it. It was like almost German. I don't know if it works, but it looked.
They have caught up. I mean, it really went bad. I think in the 90s, probably in the early 2000s, where they just carried on almost along the same trajectory of just go straight in a fast in a straight line, and obviously that caught up with them very quickly. And actually, that big part of like the JDM market in the States, where people wanted cars that can actually drift, go around corners, and so on and so forth. But I think the modern American cars, especially the performance one, are far, far better. I still struggle over here because they're usually ruthlessly expensive and got the steering wheel on the wrong side. But
also, where on earth would you be able to drive that in? I mean, you wouldn't be able to take that into any.
Yes, you would.
Well, those little towns coming towards Goodwood, you know.
Park that next to in the Tesco's car park. Why not?
Down some Cornish wiggle roads.
Yes, I mean, look, if you can, people can go down there in those great big Audi SUVs with those, crazy expensive camera mirrors. You can certainly take that down those Cornish little roads.
And they're usually towing a boat, so
and at least you'll know. And at least you'll know we're coming. Whereas with the other ones, they're quiet.
I guess so.
I just have to. I'm just reminded myself that I drove about 15 years ago, full fifth gear. I was driving a Mustang which had been fettled, and it had got 1,000 brake horsepower,
that's a lot, isn't it?
which was ridiculous. And it would only let you have the full 1,000 when you were in third gear.
Yeah, there's a couple. I've had a couple of. Who are they modified by locally? It's sort of a GT something, a modern incarnation. You can have 750 brake horsepower packs, 800 brake horsepower packs. And it's a big amount of money to upgrade them, but I don't think they're that difficult to do. A bit like the Supras and JDM market was. They almost lean themselves to being able to be uprated and individualised, which is exactly what the Mustang was designed for, of course.
Yep, but more in a straight line, though, wasn't it? More drag racing.
Oh, always, yeah. But I think that was Mustang's first thing, wasn't it? You could have a Mustang in a number of different ways. Something that, decades later, Mini did, didn't they? They bought out the new Minis and said, well, there's a new Mini, just spec it however you like. And you end up speccing it more than the Range Rover because you just picked all the things. But it's that ability to be individual. Yeah.
But muscle cars, we love them. Get them while you can.
They got a lot more animated than I thought. When you said American cars, I was like, oh no, 100%. But I've learned a lot. Thanks, guys.
I do think in our country it's a shame that the roads don't really lend them to it. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, you do want big open roads to use them on.
I've just done several days of ways to Goodwood and getting trapped down single lane roads up to me to you. Oh no, I'm going back there. So any wide cars now are giving me chronic anxiety looking at them.
My wing mirrors on the Defender have just become sort of judgments of I'm hitting the trees there, I'm close. If I'm hitting something there, I'm close.
It's like cats and whiskers.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's more expensive.
Yes. So, guess what is happening this summer? Probably right now as you're watching and hearing this.
Rain.
Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
The Olympics at Paris.
Well,
Anyone got tickets?
Let's just hope it's a bit more interesting than the football was, which was a big disappointment.
Well, we got far.
Yeah, but let's hope we do better in the Olympics.
Yeah.
While you're watching it now, it must be going on. It must be brilliant.
Yeah. So who is the official partner for cars for this year?
I'm supposed to be going over there and potentially doing some EV stuff, which I love. I love that stuff.
No comment.
It's a brand beginning with O, I think. A newcomer.
Might be for you.
But I don't think they're the official partner. I think
that's
they're
correct.
over there. God knows.
It's got to be one of the big boys, surely. It can't be one of the new upcomers because it's a huge amount of money. I'm going to pull one out the air. I don't know. It won't be the Germans. They're too tight.
German did it in 2012.
Okay.
BMW.
So I'm going to go.
You're welcome.
Is it Honda?
Close. Toyota. Yeah, so Toyota. Supplying just over 2,500 electrified vehicles of varying shapes and sizes.
That sounds sustainable.
Well, there is
Please hire me,
sustainability.
Toyota. Sorry.
There is sustainability within their remit for doing it, and they've got sort of lots of last-minute solutions for.
Lots of lawyers have managed to get through somehow to make it. Yes, very sustainable.
Oh, jeez. I did go with BMW in 2012 to see the Paralympics, and I went to see a game of wheelchair basketball, and oh my gosh, it was the most physical, frantic, fantastic sport to watch.
It's insane. I think the wheelchair tennis, I mean, I don't know if that's the correct vernacular for it, but I think it's unbelievable. How on earth are they doing it? How are they getting the ball?
Well, look at it go. So basically, it's tennis but more difficult. So they should have more credit for it. So tennis is tennis.
When you go back to watching the guys out of the chairs or the girls out of the chairs, you think, well, that's easy because obviously you can go and get it. I don't know about
that. It's so amazing. So I'm very much looking forward to the Paralympics, that's for sure. What are your experiences of Olympics?
I remember, I think everyone remembers London. And I remember going in there and watching things around the Serpentine, is it? And the triathletes. I think just everyone getting whipped up. But I also always like the Olympics because there's always something on. You're not having to go on the Netflix and trying to find something to watch. There's always something interesting to watch, which is really cool. That and the Winter Olympics, the same.
Yeah.
But obviously, with it being local, everything's going to be on our time zone as well. And I just always like watching the fringe sports. As much as everyone likes to watch the sprinters, and actually on that point, talking about Netflix, I've just watched the Netflix series Sprinter. Now, it's a great thing to watch pre-Olympics. It talks about the 100 metres and 200 metres runners.
Okay.
It's worth watching pre-Olympics.
Thank you.
If you haven't watched it yet, I mean, I'm not getting paid for this, unfortunately. But it's a good way of getting
just
to know
an invoice.
the people.
Sometimes they just get paid.
Yeah. It's a good way to get to know the characters, because obviously we all knew about Usain Bolt, but then it sort of drifts away from your psyche and you don't know really who's good and who's not. So I watched that, and now I'm really looking forward to the 100 and 200 metres. But yeah, always just how everyone gets whipped up wanting to watch it. And now having young kids, of course, they just love watching everything and flying a flag and what have you. So, but otherwise, big sort of memories. I do remember the Linford Christie's days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
I'll tell you who he is in a minute.
I know who he is. I'm not that young.
But obviously, we normally do things like rowing and things is normally our killer, isn't it? We used to have Redgrave. I don't know what we've got. We've set the bar high for the amount of medals that we have.
Yes, always. And boxing as well. Quite looking forward to that.
I struggle with the boxing, the point things. Yeah, I get it. The amateur boxing thing with all the points.
Okay.
Not so sure on that. But
I'm happy with that. Oh, you didn't like that? No.
Boxing's always a bit politics, anyways. But when they point score, which is
bit like Eurovision, but with punching.
Oh, why don't we do Eurovision? Punching Eurovision.
People would watch
Sing
it then.
while you box.
No, but it has to be the people that are doing the singing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All those fools.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
I've come up with an idea. Well, I've come up with something that was an idea, half an idea, a quarter of an idea, who knows. What cars would suit these sports?
Okay.
So what car would suit boxing if you were to put a car against another car in a boxing ring?
It's got to be something big and aggressive.
Yeah.
Or the Ford Raptor sort of thing.
Oh, yes.
Or a jacked up urban Land Rover or something sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's biggest? Who's best?
Yeah.
Muscle cars would be a bad show, would it? Two big muscle cars.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
I fully agree with that.
Okay, perfect.
Good input.
I went for a Toyota Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Which is coming out at the end of this year in the UK. 7 seats, 75 grand.
75 grand?
Yeah, I know. Plus options.
Yeah.
What?
They're definitely all hitting the Land Rover market, aren't they? They've seen how well that sort of retro look's going, and everyone's going at it now.
Yeah.
They want to take the Ineos and the Land Rover money out and get that back into them.
Yeah. What about, this is bang up your street, what car would you choose for the artistic gymnastics?
Artistic gymnastics, yeah, my forte actually. I used to be a gymnast in my day.
You know what? And I know you're telling the truth.
He's so flexible.
Is he? Is he now? Have you seen him get into the chair?
45 minutes to get out of my car. I walked over here earlier and you said, "Are you drunk?" My back was that bad. So no, I wasn't a gymnast. The whole thing gives me back pain even looking at it.
I believed you.
I know, I'm a good liar. That's the problem. That's what you got to watch out for.
So what car would work?
Yeah, what car would work for... Would you put in for the artistic gymnastics?
I don't know. Some old classic thing. I don't know.
I'm going up Mazda MX-5.
Mazda MX-5, yeah,
dainty.
nimble, dainty. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Lotus Elise.
Oh, yes.
That's a very good shout.
Good shout.
Yeah.
And lastly, the triathlon.
Oh, so jack of all trades. Really.
Swimming 1,500 metres, 40k cycle ride they have to do, and then a 10k run.
Porsche 911. Jack of all trades.
Oh.
Could do, can do the sprint, can do the drive to work. Can't quite go off-road.
Can't drive through a pond, can you?
No,
I was
that's
going
the
Land
problem.
Rover Defender. That would be my choice.
SVR or Octa now.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I've got
that's
an
for
order in
another
on one of
podcast.
those, the
Have you?
Octa. Yeah, have you driven it? Yeah.
No.
Have you been a passenger, done anything?
No. So just remind anyone what Octa is.
Octa is, I believe the Octa thing, it's something to do with the 8 somethings that are in the suspension. I think they've done something clever with that. But basically it's Defender that's got a VA in it, it's faster.
Isn't it all to do
goes
with
around
the
track for
brand
some reason.
separation now, isn't it? So SVR was specific, that was all the Jaguar SVR, and I think, or they were going to use it the Range Rover SVR, but the Defender wanted something separate because they're sort of segregating the brands.
Yeah. It's like SV
It's wider.
Plus.
It's wider, but it doesn't look a great deal different. But
It's their sort of top flagship.
Yeah, but it's still got the V8, hasn't it? That's the
I
key
think it'd be
factor.
amazing, but I still don't understand why you want your 4x4 to go around the corner fast.
No,
Even though you've put a deposit down for one.
I get carried away with these things. I
That's
don't actually think I put money
YouTube
down.
in him.
I don't. Yeah, no, I got in the mix because I thought, this might be good for views. It might be funny for a week, and then
I think it's already been done though. It's so quickly
It's been
because
done,
they had
yeah.
a press event, a pre-press event before it was then out this weekend, just gone at Goodwood. So
Yeah, I went to
was
that
already
fancy
well
house.
out. Yes, this.
in that fancy house
Yep.
that looked like Palm Springs or something out in the
Yeah.
Cotswolds. It
And
was
they
the
parked
best
it
house I've
inside
ever
it,
been to.
didn't they?
Yeah.
It looked like a Bond villain's
Yeah.
place. I didn't go. I had friends going, and they said it was like going into a Bond villain's house, and they had these 2 Octas parked in the house.
It was worth it for that alone, just the order. Cancel it now. I think they're only going to make about 1,000 of them, so I think it might not tank its value.
I
too
don't.
badly.
I don't have the biggest love for Jaguar Land Rover at the moment. Owning one, there's no way that will be limited. The limitation is how many they can make in the first year. Then they will make as many as they can.
Yeah.
Business.
750 first year, 750 second year, rubbish. 750 first year is all they can make. Then you watch. If there's loads of orders, they'll make loads of them. Don't trust them.
Well, watch this space. We will come back to visit this with my journalistic hat on. I will make a note of that, and we will be talking to Mathew Priddy and Tom Exton about their Octas later on. Should we finish things with a British quiz, because we are here
Oh yes.
ahead of our summer British time. I know the sun keeps coming in and out, and
Does it involve the alphabet counting? Because apparently me and Tommy struggle with that.
Struggle with most things. As we found out.
last time's quiz when I was with you was about the alphabet. I have got no alphabet.
I've been
Good.
stuck
It's
on
tricky.
it.
It's too many letters.
So, we are here in this lovely garden setting, and instead of going home at the end of the day with a prize-winning cake, if you come to the auction, you can take away a car. Oh yeah. But it's quite quaint here, I think, which I love very much. And a garden party, you always sort of have a cuppa, don't you? At some
Always, yeah.
some sort.
Like church teas.
Oh yes, that would be lovely.
weekend at mine. At
Did you?
Tees, I didn't go.
Oh.
I feel like a bit of an irk.
Yeah.
Here comes a bit of rough.
Quick, hide the good stuff. He'll just take it. As a garden parties, which is the UK's biggest motoring garden party?
Salon Privé. It's the only one I can think of other than Goodwood.
Oh, did you say Goodwood?
I did. I was going to say Goodwood, but that's too obvious.
The Goodwood Festival of Speed, yeah. What year did it start?
Oh, I don't know, actually.
I was there.
Oh, so it's that long ago?
You cheeky monkey.
Plenty of scope then. I don't know. Coming up for a centenary.
100 years? You're so rude. You're so rude.
You set yourself up for this one.
1993.
1990.
What were you doing in 93, Tom?
I was being a very small child.
Oh.
Yeah. I was born, believe it or not. I was born. I know.
See, how old? No, we can't say it. Off
You
camera,
can't.
we'll ask the question.
And about 200,000 people churn through the gates.
That's a lot.
That's a big old tea
There
party,
is,
isn't
yeah.
it? On that one.
It's a bit more expensive than church teas,
Yeah.
I've noticed.
Totes.
£10 for 2 ice creams.
Don't get yourself in hospitality, mate.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No
It's all
invites.
free.
I don't remember. My phone didn't ring. From you
Tom
guys
doesn't
last
take
week.
money.
Quaffing
That's
champagne. No. The invoices just have champagne and whatnot.
Oh, right. It's a photo round. By the way, you've scored absolutely nothing so far.
Yeah, that's about normal, isn't it?
So I'm going to show you a photograph. You need to tell me what it's. You need to tell me the story behind this photo.
It's a Ford Transit and it's got Red Bull stuff on it. It probably drifts.
Fastest
Peak. Is
van.
it Pikes Peak? Anything to do with Pikes Peak? I'm clutching at straws.
You're doing well.
Oh, really?
You've actually said quite a lot that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's about that's about as far as I'll go.
Van Hill record.
Oh, that's cheating.
There we
isn't
go.
it? Put a van shell on a car and you win any record. I know that.
So this is, it won the shootout. It's a Ford Supervan 4.2 and it had a hill time, bearing in mind the hill's just over a mile long, of 43.98 seconds. And it's being driven by Romain Dumas, who is...
I absolutely love that they go that fast. It always slightly scares me that always between us and them is a couple of bales of hay. And I love that.
They do a good job.
I love that, just like I used to love old rally stages, and I don't want it to stop, although, yeah, okay, I get it, it's like slightly frightening. But my word, when they're going that fast, you're thinking, geez.
I get that anxiety when I go to an air display show, any air display, because I have seen one fall out the sky.
But you don't want it to stop.
No.
Because otherwise it's dull.
Yeah.
Although Tom's in the back watching it on the telly, so he's
Yes.
safe.
I'm with my prawn sandwich right in the back with the earplugs in.
I'm going to give you a point each for that, actually, because you both did
Did Tom
well.
say anything?
Yeah, he did. He got the fastest.
Oh, yeah,
Fastest
you're
hill.
right.
Fastest van, mate.
How did it compare? Yeah, I'm asking for stats, and you might be so blindsided here. How fast is that compared to that McMurty thing?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
McMurty's 39 seconds.
So
That's
McMurty's.
ludicrously quick.
Yeah, I know. Mental,
I think it was
isn't
39. Yeah.
In the threes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Next question. Oh yes. So the following 3 historically British car companies are now owned by non-British companies. So these are Mini, Lotus, and Jaguar. So name the companies which now own them, and ideally the year they were bought. So we'll take Mini to start with.
So Mini's BMW, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
The Lotus isn't it?
What year was?
Oh, crikey, that was
BMW took over
that was a
Mini.
way back. 'Cause
Late 90s?
I've got a Mini here that's a John Cooper Works special that was done by John Cooper Works, not part of the Mini BMW thing. That was 1990.
It's like watching Carol Vorderman work out the maths.
I think was it about 2000?
96. It's in 1996.
I said late 90s. Can I have something for that?
Yeah.
Or half a point?
Maybe. I'll see at the end. Lotus then. Who now owns Lotus and what year did that get sold?
Isn't that Chinese owned?
Geely Group, isn't it?
One pronounces it Geely as in jelly.
Sorry, Jelly Group.
You're welcome.
Jelly
Geely.
Group. So the Jelly Group.
Geely Group.
Geely.
Sorry, Geely Group.
I'm liking the Jelly Group.
Geely, like how you the j of jelly.
I need their help, actually.
that was
With my mortgage.
was that less than a decade ago?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So what,
Less than a decade ago.
6-7 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
To save me doing the maths, you just come up with the year.
I'm liking putting you under the pressure of the maths. Okay, let's just randomly go. Let's go
2015.
16.
17. No, oops. So yeah, it's owned 50% by Geely and 49% by a Malaysian conglomerate called Etika Automotive, which has got connections with Proton.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything you need to add there, Tom?
Because you were absolutely slating them earlier.
Who? What?
Lotus.
No, I wasn't. I like the Lotus stuff.
This was just like when Vicky was slating Aston Martin last time.
I love Aston Martin.
Right. The new Lotus, I think they're very good cars, but are they what people think of as a Lotus? No, but they're good cars in their own right, and that's what people need to remember, all right?
And then last but not by least, Jaguar. Who owns Jaguar now, and when was it sold?
They're owned by the
Tata.
Indians. Yeah, that was a while back.
2000.
2013.
2008.
It was a long
Excuse
while
me.
ago.
Yeah, so Tata Motors, the Indian multinational automotive company, also a big steel company as well.
Big steel. That's how I knew them from.
Yeah. Okay, question number 4. Yes, this quiz is still going. The Monterey Car Week in Pebble Beach, California has the Concours d'Elegance as its pinnacle competition every August. In Britain, we offer up many. Indeed, you have offered up the Salon Privé, which has a lovely concours thing. But we also have the Concours de l'Ordinaire, the ordinary concours. It's at the Festival of the Unexceptional, which happens in the end of July. So, on this year's podium, what was there? The most boring,
Ford Mondeo. It's gotta be in there.
ordinary. No, that's too exciting. I honestly think Mondeo is too exciting.
Oh God, it's more boring.
Nice.
Austin Allegro.
Oh, good point.
No?
But I think that's actually got quite a slightly interesting.
Following, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, right. What the problem is that I've got to remember something that everyone's
I know.
forgotten.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be a Vauxhall in there.
Well,
You like a
close,
Vauxhall?
but not on a podium. Don't get me started. Subaru Justy from 1993.
Yeah, almost to the point I had to say what then, but
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, that's really
That
unexceptional.
sounds terrible.
Then Austin Metro from 1983.
I don't know.
And
I
They're quite
would-
iconic, actually.
Yeah, I'd
It
quite
is.
argue that was more than ordinary. And taking the top spot was a 1991 Daihatsu Applause, which is a bit of a sort of saloon thing. I mean, fancy giving your car that name to start with.
Great. Don't even know what it is, but I want one now.
Yeah, the Applause.
I'm going to consign all 3 of them for the
Yeah.
next auction.
Is there anything that
Watch
you would...
this space. I'm going to find 3 of you who can consign these cars for the next auction, and we're going to sell them, and we're going to prove them wrong.
Anything you would pop in?
What, for unexceptional cars?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'd
Vauxhall Astra.
Asia Rockster I'd put in.
Asia? I don't even
Yeah,
know what that is.
you're welcome. You are welcome. I'll let you go and look that one up.
Yeah, I don't have a clue what that is.
No, I've insulted enough brands.
Okay, fair enough.
Still want to work in
Someone's
this
worried
place.
about the next paid gig.
Right,
Yep.
our final question. So at a garden party, tea is often the drink of choice. But what 3 cars have got a drink in their title? Come up with 3 cars that have got a drink in their title.
Isn't there a car called a Sprite?
Is there? I mean,
Maybe it's
I
a
could
Sprint,
believe
I
you.
don't know. I lie. Watch out for that. I don't know.
That's your second lie I've been caught out with today.
Yep.
Oh no, I've got no idea. Drinking the title.
Yeah. Do play along at home on your dog walk in your car.
I'm running through drinks in my head, and I'm doing it on the mic. I have no idea.
I'm struggling. I can't think of any drinks.
Okay, I'm going to
so
give
I'm
you
stumped.
one manufacturer to help. Ford.
We're not doing well.
Is Fiesta a drink? Probably is
Not
somewhere.
in the UK. Yeah, exactly. Think very, very
Okay,
old.
What about Rio on the Kia Rio? There's a Rio branded drink.
Good. Yeah, you can have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
A really old Ford. Pardon?
Model T. Model T. Oh god, yes, straight in front of me, in front of my eyes.
I got so
You were so
excited,
excited.
my ears fell off. Yes, Ford Model T. Okay, next one I'm going to help you with. Suzuki.
There's no drink called the Vitara, was there?
Cappuccino.
Oh yes! I was waiting for a coffee-related one.
They're cool. I like those.
Yeah, me too. Really sweet. And then a final one from me, but do come up with your own ones. Toyota.
Go on.
No idea. Go on.
Corona.
Is there a Corona?
Toyota Corona. Yeah, but I like your rear one. So actually, you win all the points because you come up with your own one.
Completely out of the other ones.
Well done.
That, fortunately for you, brings us to the end of today's podcast. Would you like to recap on some consignment news?
Yes, as we said, we're at the current Ascot here in Windsor Lakes, but when you watch this, we will be right on the cusp of going to our auction in September at Ascot Racecourse. So if you want to have your car valued, or indeed if you have one of those 3 unexceptional cars, you must get in contact, because we will then have a free, no obligation valuation for you. We'll let you know what we think your car can make, and we can detail how the process may work should you wish to consign your car in the future. Equally, if of course you're a buyer, keep an eye on that new website of ours, and of course again Instagram, because we'll keep on featuring all the cars as they're consigned, so you can then get your ticket to your catalogue for the next auction, which we hope to see you at.
Yes, and that is September the 14th. And how else can they find us, Tom?
You can find us, not just us, lots of pretty cars as well, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Spotify, and various other platforms. I'm sure
TikTok.
TikTok as well. Are we on the TikTok?
I think we've got to do some dancing later, you said.
Oh, thank God for that. I've been waiting. It's my time to shine.
You and your gymnastics from your
I've
childhood.
got a leotard in the car. I've been waiting for this, sparkles. That's it. Social media. You see all the cars ahead of the next auction. It's great. So make sure you're following all of those, and you get to keep up to date with us. Trio.
Yes. Thank you for listening and watching. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.